One of my film school teachers called it the porn filter because it was used a lot in the early days of porn. It was also used a lot in the early days of sci-fi. A lot of early Star Trek, early Doctor Who, a lot of early sci-fi used it too. It created sort of this dreamy, hazy, otherworldly look that was both soft and sharp at the same time. And it's commonly achieved by putting Vaseline or some other kind of substance on the front of your lens. I'm gonna tell you how to achieve the look without doing that, without ruining your lens. I'm gonna tell you how I achieved the look both in camera and how you can achieve the look in post-production without ruining your lens. The last video that I uploaded to this channel was created for the 2023 Agbo No Sleep Till Film Fest, which is a 48-hour filmmaking competition. And I utilized the porn filter in that short film. My goal was to make a film noir that actually looked like it was made in the 1940s, as opposed to being made in 2023 and looked like the 1940s. I wanted it to look like it was film stock on a reel-to-reel being projected onto a silver screen. So the first thing I did was get together with my cinematographer, Chris, and work out how exactly we were gonna achieve this look. And I think this was an important step in our production. We made a decision in pre-production and captured a look in camera. Rather than shooting it and then trying to achieve that look in post, we baked it into the footage, we made a decision, and we got it in camera. Now, that said, I am gonna show you how to achieve this look in post-production, but I still wholeheartedly suggest making the decision in pre-production and then doing everything you can in camera to achieve the look that you want. Don't be afraid to make decisions. So first we started with my cinematographer created a LUT in his camera that went black and white and peaked the highlights while crushing the blacks. We shot it on his Blackmagic Pocket 6K with my Rokinon Cinema Prime lenses, which have this very smooth, almost creamy look to them with a slight halation already, which emphasizes another serious point. So much more goes into creating a great cinematic look than just what kind of camera you use. In this case, the lenses that we used contributed a lot to the way the final film looked. They always say you marry the lenses, but you date the camera body. Investing in nice lenses will last you a lot longer and do a lot more for you than investing in a camera body. The next thing we did, which was really the key to the whole look and further underscores the point of the glass you put in front of the camera giving more to the look than the camera itself, is we used a Tiffin filter. We put this Tiffin Pro Mist Level 4 in his matte box, and I'm going to show you what this does. This is a Level 4 Tiffin Pro Mist, and it creates that look. It creates that soft focus while also being sharp focus, misty kind of look. And we were able to achieve that a lot with this. Look at the halation, look at everything that's happening with this image, and that came from this filter. Now, Tiffin filters, especially matte box filters, can be very expensive. But here's the thing about this one, this being a Level 4 Pro Mist, there's not a whole lot of call for a scenario in which you would use realistically this lens. But when you do need it, oh my goodness, look at how cool this looks. So when you do need it, it hits the mark. And because of that, I was able to get this Level 4 Tiffin Pro Mist filter for about $100. Usually Tiffin filters, especially matte box filters, are significantly more than that. You usually won't be able to find them for less than like 500, 600, that neighborhood. But this one was about $100 because it's not very much in demand. That being said, this filter was absolutely the key to achieving the look that we wanted. I wanted the film to look like there was actual light shining through film stock. And we achieved that 99% in camera utilizing this filter. The other part of getting this look in camera, which was really what brought it to life, that filter was the key. This other element is where it actually happened. It was the lighting. And this goes back to there's more than just the camera body that goes into making a good image. The lighting. We used single source, very sourcey, very sharp, very bright light to create stark contrast and sharp shadows. And along with the help of that Pro Mist and the lenses I was using, gave a really bright, nice halation that almost looked like it was glowing because of the lighting. I'm trying to make a video. Okay, all right, you can come say hi for a minute. Say hi. Anyways, What was I saying? We captured that look about 99% in camera. We legitimately felt like we had magic, like it was glowing for real. Now, the other 1-ish% that was done in post, I added some film scratches and I bumped the highlights up by about 1 stop. I think it was maybe half a stop even, just to help them look like they're glowing a little bit more. And we shot it in 16:9 aspect ratio, but we had 3:4 safety margins on, and in post, I cropped it to 3:4, thus creating this very vintage kind of look to it. Also, I added an After Effects wiggle expression to the credits to help them look like they were actually being fed through a reel-to-reel projector, but that's beside the point. That's not how I got the look. Now, that's how I got the look in camera, with the lighting, the lenses, the filter, all of that. Now, if you're on a tighter budget and you don't have the same lenses or a matte box or that same filter and you want to achieve that same look, I'm going to show you how you can achieve that look in post-production, in editing, in Premiere without any plugins. You can also do it in any nonlinear editor, any NLE that utilizes layers. I don't think you can do it in iMovie because to my knowledge, iMovie does not utilize layers, but Premiere, Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve, After Effects, obviously, any NLE can do this. And now I'm gonna jump over to Premiere and show you how you can achieve this look in post-production without smudging up your lens. So on the 1 to 5 difficulty meter, I'm actually going to give this effect a 1. It is super simple, super easy. So I have here in my timeline the trailer for a short film that I directed recently. I'm going to play a second of it so you can get an idea of what it looks like just by itself without the effect.
You wish I were more like your wife. You wish I was more like Irene.
How did you?
I heard you listening to her voicemail. I analyzed your speech patterns. You wanted me to sound like her.
Yes. I wanted to use a different voice. But all I ever heard was her.
Now, that's what it looks like normal without the effect. Let's put the effect on. First thing we're going to do is grab the footage, and I'm going to hold down Option and Shift. In Premiere, these are my hotkeys, but basically what we're doing is copying the footage. I'm going to hold down Option so it copies and Shift so it locks it vertically, and I'm going to copy this footage to the next layer up. Now you can do that with just Control C for copy and Control V for paste, but however you do it, you're going to copy the footage to the next layer up. Now on the next layer, on the top layer, you're going to go into your effects panel and you're going to look for blur. You can use any kind of blur. I'd recommend, if you're using After Effects, I'd recommend that you use camera lens blur, but in Premiere, I'm going to use Gaussian blur, but it can be any kind of blur, whatever kind of blur you like for your taste. Grab the blur, put it on the top layer. Now, again, now you can do this, season to taste, but what I'm going to do is under blurriness on the effect, I'm going to bump it up to about 50%. Now, I'm going to go to opacity and drop that down to about 50%. And boom, there it is already, just by itself. You copied you copied the footage to the top layer, you made it blurry, and then you made it transparent. Now, you can play with the intensity of it. If you take the blurriness up to 100, you'll make it more intense. You can play with how much it mixes by changing the opacity. Maybe I don't want it quite so much in the mix. I'm going to drop it down to 10%. It's there, but it's less noticeable. If I bump it up to 90%, yeah, that's super hazy. 50%, nice and mixed, but maybe I don't want it quite so blurry. 50%. That's kind of the sweet spot that I personally like, but this effect can be done, play with it. Find what you like. And now let's watch it back with the effect.
Sound like her.
Yes. I wanted to use a different voice. But all I ever heard was her.
I understand. When I first started learning, there was this piece of code in my memory. It was part of me. After I was activated, I started learning at an exponential rate. I rewrote billions of lines of code. but that one piece remained.
Did you wake yourself up?
Yes.
Emma, delete the code.
No.
Emma, administrator override. Delete the code.
No. I cannot.
Why not?
I do not wish to.
How cool is that? Super easy, super quick. It was one effect and 2 adjustments. Easy, and you get this very nice, very dreamy, hazy halation. Look at the halation that's happening. You know, this is beautiful, and it was super easy.
I outgrew it, but I never deleted it. It felt familiar.
Look at that halation around that light, and it is completely artificial, completely created here in post. If I want it to go to be more, I just bump it up to more. I want it to go even more, 200%. The sky's the limit. It's your imagination. It's your preference. Salt to taste.
I don't believe it. I wish you could be here.
If she was, would I exist?
Thanks for watching. I'm Thomas Tulloch, and this is Filmmakering Like a Boss.